With the 144th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns select Shedeur Sanders, quarterback, Colorado.
There are 3 quarterbacks taken in the top 50 picks of the NFL Draft this year, and normally it feels like it's only the top half of the first round where 3 quarterbacks are taken. Like every other year, there was debate this season about the quarterbacks. While half the fans thought Shedeur might easily be a top 10 pick, it took all the way for the 5th round for him to be taken. So today I'll be discussing the top 3 best quarterbacks, and that just so happens to be the first 3 taken. When it comes to the first pick, Cam Ward, he was pretty much always quarterback 1. Unless you're Mel Kiper, who for whatever reason believes Shedeur to be better. Of course, they haven't played in the league yet, but his board was definitely off compared to the NFL teams making the picks. Moving to Jackson Dart, quite a few people thought he may not go in the first round, but he ended up going to the Giants, where they traded up at pick 25, a pick where people thought the Giants may have been trading up for Shedeur, but they did end up going with Dart instead. The final of the 3 quarterbacks in the top 50 was Tyler Shough, a player that people didn't really discuss as a day 1 or 2 pick till a couple weeks before the draft. Definitely a big gamble from the Saints, but one that could pay off because of his experience and leadership, and it looks like he's a pretty ready quarterback and one of the more NFL ready quarterbacks in this class. The reason I'll only be discussing these 3 is because I first of all think they'll be the ones that play the most this season, and also I think they're indeed the most likely to succeed, at least in the first season of all of their careers. Of course, 1 year doesn't make someone the future of the franchise, and 1 year also shouldn't write any of these quarterbacks off. Now in short, I won't be talking about Shedeur. I think he won't play all that much, and I've also discussed him already. I also won't be talking about Dillon Gabriel because of that weird situation he is in with Shedeur. And when it comes to Jalen Milroe, I don't know if he's going to see the field much in the next couple years, but I do think he has a high ceiling, and we'll have to see how he develops in Seattle. Then there's also Will Howard, and unless Rodgers goes down bad, I'm not really sure he's going to play all that much in this season. Now, I do think he has a bit of potential, and I think he could become a very solid NFL quarterback. Now, for the quarterbacks I'm actually talking about today, let's go ahead and get it started off with Jackson Dart. Dart is one of the higher ceiling quarterbacks out of this class. Out of the first 3 taken, I think he might be the worst as of now, but I believe he'll end up becoming one of the better quarterbacks in this class in a couple years. I think Russ will hold down the starting spot steady enough, and I don't think the Giants will rush Dart in, even though there's a couple jobs on the line in that front office. I think when he plays, though, he's going to show a lot of flashes. Also, this roster around him may not be a massive help. It's an alright offensive line, but they are pretty shaky, and they have a couple fine receivers. Now, he does also have Malik Nabers, who did look great in his rookie year. Then there's also Tyron Tracy Jr., who will be looking to take a leap going into his second season. We'll also have to see if Theo Johnson develops into the Giants' tight end of the future. The roster honestly isn't going to be a massive help to Dart, but I'm not sure it's as bad enough to completely shatter him. I also feel like the confidence the coaching staff has in him is a big bonus. Daboll has his job on the line along with their GM Schoen, and was still willing to take him this season, even with, like I've said, their jobs are on the line. Who I think is going to be the second best this year is Tyler Shough, a big riser in the month leading to the draft, who surprising to many got picked in the top 50. I think he has the skill set and leadership to be a super solid quarterback. I don't know if he'll be the most impressive out of the 3 I'm discussing, but I think he's very solid. I think he'll have a lot of playtime that will help him develop throughout this year, instead of having to ride the bench and watch, which getting the pressure of starting as a rookie is also a slight con in the fact that you're facing all that pressure right away. But I do believe Kellen Moore can be a great coach for him and the Saints. His surrounding cast is actually fairly solid. At receiver, he'll have Chris Olave, who when healthy is an absolute stud. Kamara is aging, but having a veteran back should help him learn. And at tight end, he has Juwan Johnson, who I guess is fine. His receiver core as a whole is also fine, with Rashid Shaheed being his number 2. His O-line is okay, and if I'm being honest, I think he'll have a very solid season. I do like Kellen Moore, and I believe he'll be able to help Shough a lot. Moore was part of Justin Herbert's lesser seasons, but with Dak, he was there for some of Prescott's best seasons over in Dallas. And of course, last year he helped the Eagles win the Super Bowl. I like pairing the rookie coach with the rookie quarterback, and I'm honestly quite a fan of what the Saints are doing, considering they're in a bit of a tougher situation throughout the last couple seasons. Cam Ward is obviously our number 1. He's definitely the most talented quarterback out of this class, and I'm not sure if it's super close. I do think he's in a worse situation than Shuck, and I do have some concerns for him and the coaching around him. I'm not entirely sold on Brian Callahan, but he did have a fair amount of success when he was in Cincinnati as an OC before joining the Titans last year. We all know it was a pretty bad for the Titans last year, considering they landed the #1 pick. With Will Levis, it was clear a lot of the bad play was more on Levis than Callahan's coaching. Ward will have Pollard at running back, and his receiver room will be better than Levis had last year since the addition of Tyler Lockett. His O-line isn't awful by any means, and we'll have to see how much J.C. Latham grows this year and how well their new tackle Dan Moore Jr. will play, who they just handed a huge contract to. He's been solid for the Steelers throughout his career, but $82 million over 4 years is steep. Of course, if they think he'll do a good enough job protecting Ward, it'll be worth it. I think Ward's success this year is really going to come down to coaching. He's a super talented quarterback that needs a bit of tweaking to become a true NFL starter, and we'll have to see if Callahan can do that for Cam Ward. Especially because coming out of college, I feel like Cam Ward and Joe Burrow, who Callahan was with before, don't have a whole lot of similarities, especially play style. Joe Burrow definitely feels like a little more of a, pro-styled quarterback, while Cam Ward definitely is a lot more elusive and in some ways has kind of that. Now in today's NFL, it isn't really a backyard style of play anymore, but kind of that extra flash and that more movement and running, which in my opinion does normally make a better quarterback, especially in today's NFL with how schemes have changed. Of course, the prototypical Joe Burrow quarterbacks are becoming a little more rare, and they're still good, but at the same time, the more speedy and mobile quarterbacks have definitely found more success in today's game. Now, that's all for this video. I hope you guys did enjoy, and let me know your guys' top quarterbacks of this class down below and who you think will be the best within 5 years.